Welcome to my very first video. In this video I'll show you the first step into making an ultimate custom night game on Scratch. Now this first episode will focus on the main menu and then the very beginning of the office. So I'll go ahead and show you how to make your first character. So down here on the Sprites tab there will be Sprite 1. Change that to whatever you want your first animatronic to be. I'll have mine as just Scratch Cat. And then Icon. We want Icon because we're going to make the AI later. We want to drag the Scratch Cat to where we want its icon to be, which is right here. We can change the size down here a little bit, so like 75. And we can put it right there. And now we can put when green flag clicked, we can show, because we might hide this later, and then here, go to X and Y. Now if you want to, you can even these numbers out. So now I have evened the numbers out. So now every time you click the green flag, he will go there. So if you go here, he'll start there. Now we want to make a new variable by clicking on this side over here. And then we can click make a variable. And we'll call it Scratch Cat Level, or LVL, for all sprites. Okay. Now, set Scratch Cat level to 0. Now, on this side over here, we'll do large readout. Well, first double click and then click large readout and then put it underneath. So now, when the Scratch Cat goes to their position, the variable will be underneath. Now, what we can do is we get a forever loop and then if else. What this will do is that after it sets up the main thing that it needs to do, it'll forever loop the rest of the time until we click the begin button that will add shortly. So it will start the forever loop and then it'll test for something in the middle. And if that is true, then it'll follow everything in that blank space. If it's not true, then it'll go down here. So what we can do is we can go to sensing, and then if touching mouse pointer operators. Then we can go and, so put that in, touching mouse pointer and back to sensing, key up arrow pressed, and put that on the second slot. Now you put this up here to the if then. Now this will make the block a lot longer by itself, but this does not mean that the scripts will be longer. This just means that it has to fit this entire thing. Now what you need to do is need to go here. So if it is touching mouse pointer and the key up arrow is pressed, then what we can do is go to variables. We can go ahead and delete the my variable. We can change Scratch Cat level by 1. But normally in Ultimate Custom Night it doesn't go above 20. So to make that issue corrected, we can go if Scratch Cat, or first get the greater than, and then variables, Scratch Cat level. So if Scratch Cat level is greater than 20, then we can set Scratch Cat level to 20 or 0, depending on if you want it to loop around or not. And then else, we can put another if, but this time a regular if, and then duplicate this. So then we go right here, and then key down arrow pressed. So now, if we are touching with a mouse pointer and the key down arrow is pressed, then we can duplicate this part and put it in here. This time, instead of changing the Scratch Cat level by 1, we'll change it by -1. And then if Scratch Cat level, instead of having greater than, we'll do less than. So put the Scratch Cat level in there, and take this one out to the side to delete it. If Scratch Cat level is less than 0, then we will set Scratch Cat level to 0 or 20, again, depending on if you want to loop it. I'll set it to 0. So now, this is what happens. If we run our project and have our mouse over the character, we press the up arrow. Oh my, it shoots all the way up to 20 and then down to 0. I figured out why this happens. This is because we did not put a certain block that we need to when we use these blue arrows. So we need to go to Control, and we need to go to Wait Until. And then go right here, after this if, and wait until operators not. And then we can duplicate this key up arrow pressed. And then we'll have to duplicate this and put it down here. And then not key down arrow pressed instead. So now, if we run our project, you can see it individually goes up in ones. So that's how to make the characters level, but then how do we make the go button to go to the office? Well, all we need to do for this is to go and paint a sprite. We'll call this Go, because this will be the button that goes. Now, what we can do is we can go to the square tool. Oh, that's a circle. We can go to the square tool that will be down here, and then we can make a square and then drag it into the middle so that snaps. Then we can go to this fill. You can do whatever you want on this part, but most of the time I like to do a green go button. If you want to keep the outline, you can, but I'll set the outline to 0. So it's a flat green square, and we can go here and wait until it says sans serif. Then we can click, and then right now it won't show up because the text is also green, but we'll change that shortly. Let's type go. Now we can change the fill color all the way to white. Yours doesn't have to be the exact same as mine, but this is what mine will look like. So now that we have this, we can go to the code, and then we can do one flag clicked. Then we need to drag this to where we want it to go. So right here. Then change that to 150. And then go to X 180, Y 150. It doesn't it doesn't have to be exactly this. It can be wherever you want it to be. And now, when the sprite clicked, we can broadcast a message. And we'll call this message begin. So now, when we click this, it'll broadcast the message begin. Now go back to the Scratch Cat. Remember when our second block of code we put down was the show? Well, now, this is why we needed that. When I receive begin, which will be in the events tab, we will go to looks, we will go to hide, right down here, and then go to variables, and then this very last block, hide variable. And we will hide the variable Scratch Cat level. And then go back to the Go, and then when this broadcasts begin, we can hide. So when you start, there's the Scratch Cat that you can level up or down, and then when you press Go, everything turns to white. And then when the flag clicks, it should make it so that the Scratch Cat comes back, the Go button comes back, and the variable comes back. So what we can do for this is when flag is clicked, show. And then back to the Scratch Cat, we can make it so that we go here and then show variable Scratch Cat level. And there we go. That's it for this first video. For the next video, I'll be showing you how to make a working office and moving it side by side. See you next video. Adios.